You've probably heard the word vibration thrown around a lot, right? But what does it actually mean for the reality you and I experience every single day? Well, today we're going to break down this whole concept using some really amazing insights from a dialogue between ShunpeterZ and a higher consciousness known as Z. And the whole point here is to show you how you can actually take the driver's seat in the reality you experience. All right, let's dive in. So let's just start with a huge question, one that really frames everything we're about to get into. What if this world you see, the solid stuff all around you, isn't really a place at all? What if it's more like a broadcast, a specific frequency that your consciousness is tuned into right now? See, thinking this way takes vibration from some abstract buzzword and turns it into the very dial that controls your entire experience. Okay, so let's get grounded for a second. What are we even talking about here? At its most basic level, a vibration is just the frequency of energy. And at the end of the day, everything is energy. Light, sound, radio waves, and yeah, even solid matter. That's what Einstein's famous E=mc² showed us, that matter is just a whole lot of energy packed into a tiny space. And that super dense, kind of slow vibration is what our brain interprets as solid. And this leads to this absolutely fascinating idea of rendering. It's kind of like how a video game works, right? The game's code has all this potential information, but your computer only renders the part of the world you're looking at. The universe is like that. It's a massive ocean of potential vibrations, and your consciousness acts like a processor that renders a very specific slice of it into the reality you can see and touch. This quote from Z just nails it. It's like your own personal cosmic TV remote. Your vibration isn't just a mood, it's the channel selector. So are you tuned into the everything is going wrong channel today, complete with traffic jams and spilled coffee? Or are you on the things just work out channel, where you catch all the green lights? The broadcasts are all playing at once. Your vibration just picks which one shows up on your screen. Okay, so if our vibration is the tuner, how in the world do we know what channel we're on? Well, that's where our emotions come in. They're like the signal indicators on our internal dashboard. Let's take a closer look. Now, this is a really, really important distinction. A lot of us think that feeling happy is a high vibration, but Z points out something a little different. The emotion isn't the signal itself. It's more like a notification, a tag that tells you what frequency you're tuned into. It's the information about the signal, not the signal itself. This radio analogy just makes it all click, right? The vibration, that's the actual invisible radio wave being broadcast from the station. It's just out there in the air. But the emotion, that's just the little screen on your car stereo that says FM 93.5. So feeling angry doesn't mean you are a low vibration. It's just your display telling you, hey, you're currently tuned to the anger frequency. It's just data. And this idea isn't coming out of nowhere. People like Dr. David Hawkins have actually mapped this stuff out. He created these scales that connect emotional states to specific levels of consciousness, or frequencies. You can see right here, things like fear and anger, they vibrate at one end of the spectrum. And then you have love, gratitude, peace, way, way up at the other end. It just reinforces that our emotions are incredibly reliable indicators. So if emotions are the indicators, what's controlling the dial in the first place? What sets our default station, the one we keep returning to over and over? Well, that brings us to the operating system running in the background, our beliefs. JJ gave ShunpeterZ this incredible analogy for this. Our beliefs, or kanen as it's called in Japanese, are like the CSS of a website. For anyone who doesn't know, CSS is the code that tells a web browser how to display everything. It's the style guide that says, make the headline big and blue, put the picture on the right, make the background gray. Our beliefs do the exact same thing for our reality. And here's the kicker. The raw event, let's call that the HTML, is totally neutral. But your belief system, your CSS, renders that event in a completely unique way. So the HTML is just employment status changed. But if your CSS code is, I am not worthy, your personal browser renders that event as a devastating failure. If your CSS is, I am adaptable and opportunities are everywhere, you render the exact same event as an exciting new door opening. Same HTML, totally different CSS. And here's what that CSS code actually looks like in our heads. I am not worthy. The world is a dangerous place. Success requires constant struggle. These aren't just passing thoughts. These are the programs running on autopilot 24/7, filtering our reality and locking us into a specific frequency, making sure we see the same kinds of results over and over again. Okay, this might all sound a little deterministic, like we're just stuck with our programming. But here is the really, really good news. We are not stuck. We can absolutely learn to change the channel. Let's get into the practical steps for how to consciously retune our own frequency. And according to Z, the key, the starting point for all of this, isn't about fighting yourself or forcing positive thoughts. It's much simpler. It's just awareness. Simple, non-judgmental awareness. You can't pick a new song if you don't even realize the radio's on, right? The first step is just to notice what's playing. So, here's the playbook. 3 really simple steps. First, notice the signal. You feel that pang of anxiety. Instead of spiraling, you just go, oh, interesting, anxiety's here. That's it. It's just a notification. Second, identify the filter. You get a little curious. I wonder what belief, what CSS code is triggering this feeling. And third, choose a new frequency. And this doesn't have to be some huge effort. Just stand up, stretch, put on a song you love, change your physical state. That small action is enough to start turning the dial. Now, as you start doing this, be really careful about these common traps. Trying to force positivity is like slapping a good vibes only sticker over your car's check engine light. It doesn't fix the problem, it just ignores the valuable information the signal is giving you. Judging other people just tunes you right into the frequency of judgment. And look, if this whole process becomes another stressful thing on your to-do list, it completely defeats the purpose. The key here is gentle awareness, not forceful control. All right, we've talked about our personal reality, but now let's zoom all the way out. Let's talk about the ultimate reality hack, the most profound implication of all this. So, the idea here is that our most powerful beliefs aren't the ones we argue about. They're the ones we don't even realize are beliefs. We just think they're how things are. They're the foundational assumptions we have about the very nature of existence, the filters we don't even know are filters. And this is where it gets really mind-bending. Z told ShunpeterZ that the final frontier, the main target for anyone truly wanting to master their reality, isn't a belief like I'm not worthy. It's your beliefs about time, space, and causality itself. The suggestion here is that what we think of as the immutable laws of physics might just be the most powerful collective CSS filter we're all running. And that leaves us with one heck of a question, doesn't it? If our entire world is rendered through our filters, and our deepest filters are things we just assume to be objective truth, what would happen if you changed them? What kind of reality would you start to perceive if you began to question the very fabric of time and space? Something to think about.